I guess you're able to see my screen, right? Which your email address and the password pair. I guess you're able to see my screen, right? Yes or no? Good. Okay, because this service is one of the fundamental service after you finish first 2 labs, I'm pretty sure everyone of you will be or should be very familiar with that service, which is called Identity and Access Management Service, called IAM service. So basically, when we first log in, when we create an AWS account, I'm talking about free tier account. I'm not talking about account you are using right now. Some of you are using right now called what? A single sign-on user. By the way, I'm still not able to log into this organization account right now. I'm still waiting for IT support to help me sort out the issues. Okay, so that's when you begin with a single sign-in identity, which is normally your email address and the password pair. As soon as I log into, and I have complete access to all AWS services and resources in the account. But bear in mind, if you're using single sign-on, the AWS single sign-on account, which you are invited to join, you are not a root user. Okay, so you may not, for sure, you will not have complete access because we need to control budget. Okay, so we define some sort of access control policy. Put some limitation there. So for those of you, if you are pretty much like me, you are using free tier account, yes, you have full control of all AWS service and resources in your account because you are account owner. Okay, you are account owner, and then so your credit is associated with your account. Okay, because right now, that's why I say if you are using AWS single sign account, which all department email you the invitation email, and then so now in this case you are not AWS root account owner. Okay, you are not a root user or you are not root account. Does it make sense? So for the root account has complete and restrict access to all resources in your AWS account. So therefore, it is highly recommended not to use a root account for day-to-day activities. So the best practice of using root user is to create your first IAM user, and then so you can securely lock away the root user's credential. Okay, root user's credential. Let me just show you. I'm just like to show you. Okay, so here is my I log into my account. Okay, here is my root user. Okay, I am the root user. Okay, so in this case, I have a full control. Okay, I can basically use any types of a service AWS provides, okay, or AWS offers to their customer. But for sure, whatever the service I'm using, I will be charged. Okay, that's the bottom line. Okay, so here is, if you see, here is IAM service. So under security, identity, and compliance category. So if we just create, let me just show you what means log out first. Okay. So I guess some of you have already noticed that one. Okay, so here is, you can see is root user login, because when I apply this account, I'm just using my email address. Okay, my Centennial College email address, and then so when I provide this email address, they know, okay, I am root user. Okay, I am root user. If I'm just click, okay, sign into a different account. So in this case, you can see, basically we are able to log into as a root user or log into as IAM user. Okay. So for me, I'm always like to, because just too many password. I'm using password. I just keep my life a little bit easier. Okay. So that's why I'm always like to use what? I'm always like to use my root user login credential. Okay. I'm just log in, and then so here is I hope it works. Okay. So now, yes, I log in as a root user. Okay. And then, so as we mentioned, yes, you are able to log in as an IAM user. That's what we call IAM user. But for sure, before you can log in as a IAM user, and then for sure we need to create an IAM user. Okay, so this is first things I like you to be clear. Secondly, some service management tasks can be performed only when you sign in as a root user. Number one, yes, from time to time we may just change account settings, okay? And also close your AWS account. And restore IAM users permissions. And also configure configure Amazon S3 bucket to enable multi-factor authentication. Okay, so multi-factor authentication. So you know what is multi-factor authentication, right? I guess every one of you know that, right? Do you know? Anyone can just share your idea? Multi-factor authentication. Any idea? Any idea about I think it's multi-factor access, okay, MFA. Like to one where you...
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's like multiple evidence to log in, for example, text.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nowadays, especially when we just log into our bank account, right? Nowadays is quite normal, right? We need to the bank will text us, let's say text us or emails. It depends on your setting, right? The code, and then so we type in the code. So another one, okay? Yes, thank you very much. Yes, here is pretty much the same. And then so when we're talking about for the S3 bucket, let's say we were talking about an S3 bucket today. And if you just like to configure an S3 bucket to enable MFA, this feature, you have to log in as a root user. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So if IAM user, or we say IAM service, is to help root user control access to AWS resources. In other words, it enables a root user to control who can do what in his or her AWS account. So in terms of IAM user, this access control concept is very much the thing we're already quite familiar with. In terms of access control, we already know the user, we already know what is group, and also we already know role, right? Let's say there's a very famous access control framework, which is role-based access control, right? Role-based access control. And also for sure, there will be permissions. And in terms of permissions, it will be IAM policy. Okay, it will be IAM policy. So first, we're talking about IAM users. Again, as we mentioned, instead of sharing your root user credentials with others, you can create individual IAM users within your account. Within your account. Let's say when you do lab 3 or when you do group-based project, if you do lab 3, you like to treat it as a group lab, and for sure in this case you need to share your your credentials, IAM user credentials with your group member. At least one of you need to do that, right? Because otherwise you're not able to, how can you just work as a team? Okay, because you need to access the data within your AWS account, okay? So what is an AWS user? So AWS user represent identity principle that can be independently authenticated and can hold long-term credentials. Okay, only if you delete this user. Okay, remove this user, delete this user. So that's why, basically, that's why we call it long-term credential. So as soon as this user existed there, and then so the credentials is always there. Okay, so each IAM user can has its own password to access the AWS Management Console. That's we just go to log into our AWS account. Can you log into your AWS account and go to the IAM service? Go to the IAM service. Can you? We just get used to AWS, and then so at the same time I'm just explain the concept. Okay, so can you log into your AWS account, please? Have you? Okay, good. So after if you're not able to follow, just yell it out. Let me know for sure. I can slow down and I can also repeat. Okay. Okay. So just yell it out. Maybe not a typing message. Okay, because when I do something, I may forget to back here to check the message. Okay. Just to make sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so here right now you can see from the left-hand side, you can see the concept as we mentioned. Okay, we have user group, we have users, we have roles, we have policies, and then so now I'm just you can see. Let me just click on the users. Okay, so here is some summary for what I have right now. Right now, I have one group. I have 5 users. I have 29 roles. I have 25 policies. Okay, I have 25 policies. Okay, and then so add MFA. Yeah, I didn't want to do this one right now, but if you like, we can add. Okay, so first, I'm just to simplify to take a look at user. So right now I have 5 users. So I know you do not have any user here yet. So first I'd like you to do this. Do you see this button? Add users, okay? So I just click add user. And then, so if we just click add user, let's say I'm just like to see, user for section 1, okay, section 001, okay. So in terms of the access type, majority of time for this course, we will just choose what? Access key programmatic access. But first, in this case, I just like to show you, okay, so how about we just choose this one? And then, so I'm able to log in, use this IM user. Okay, so now I'm just check this, okay? I'd like to check this one. Okay. Not automatic generate. I just like to use my own password. Okay, so let's see. I provide a password, okay? And the require password reset. I don't like to do this. Okay, so in this case, here is, are you with me? I just like to show you how we are able to create IM user. Because a moment ago, we're talking about root user and IM user, okay? And then, so I just click next, which is set up the permission, okay? Set up a permission. And in terms of, save it, in terms of set permission, because I already have a group, and then, so I'm just like to simplify it, okay? I could, okay, I just use that one. I just, put this one to this particular, group, okay? So here is,
So, Professor, sorry,
yes.
do you create a group?
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Yes, you don't have a group, so I just choose this one in this case, okay? Yeah, you do not have group, right? So in this case, attach existing, okay, so attach existing policy straight away. Can you just click the third one?
Yeah, it shows a bunch of like access administrator and stuff.
Yeah, this, you can see how many. This is, they call them, manager the rule, okay? 707 policies here, okay? So we call what? Manager the policy. But anyway, so I'm just like to simplify it. How about I'm just grant administrator access level to this user. Okay, to this user. I'm just to choose this one. Or if you like, maybe this is not a good idea. Okay, I'm just using power user. Okay, power user access. This one just do some sort of based on job. Okay, are you with me? Okay, so now I'm just next. Don't have to. I just don't provide anything. Okay, so now I have what? I need to write it down. I can't remember so many things. Okay, so user for section 1. User for section 1. Okay, so now I'm just created. So it is creating, okay, it is creating, and then so can email out. And then so in this case, okay, in this case, you can see I can what? With users with this can sign in here. I can sign, let me just open a new one, okay? So in this case, I'm user. Can you see now this time I'm just sign in as I am user, okay? I sign in as an I am user. Here is still and my account. Okay, this is my account what ID, as I mentioned to you last time. Okay. I'll just show you later. Okay, so here is I think user for section 1. This is, yes, I'm just signing. So when after I sign in, can you see the login name is a little bit different? Okay, this is my account ID. This is the I am user. Okay, this is I am user, and then so in this case, because I'm just using what sort of power user access. Okay, so in this case, something not available there. Let's say the account setting, all these things. Okay, so here is my I am user. Make sense? And how many have you already created your very first I am user? You're able to log in, right?
Sorry, Professor. I think I lost it one step. Sorry for logging in.
It's okay.
I was able to create the IAM user from the previous account, and now I'm trying to log in. It says here that my account ID is user for section 001. What should I use for the IAM username?
Oh, for the name, you can just use any name. It's okay. Any name.
So we can use like the same one that you use in your example, like user 1, section 0.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Okay.
that's one. Yeah, that one you can just use that one, log in. But basically, I just show you. But majority time for this course, we don't need this one. Okay. But I like to really help you to understand the concept. The user can be different types of user because what you can see even when we create user, we are able to put some limitations there by granting what types of things, what types of resources this user be able to access. Okay, so this IM user be able to use this IM user log in to the management console. Okay, but another thing. Okay, so this is the first. Second, now I'm just like to show you how we are able to create another types of user. Do you remember IM user? Do you remember a moment ago we say there are two, right? Okay, we're back. So we create IM user even for ourselves. Yes, you can, but if you are using organization account, you don't need to, okay? Because you already you do not have full control of these types of resource, okay? Does it make sense? That's why when we're talking about AWS resource, we really focus on what? We really focus on within your account, okay? Within your account, and then so where's that one? Okay, let's see. We say just to control what? Control your AWS within your AWS account. But if you're using our department single sign-on account, you are not a root user. Okay. So, but anyway, just to show you, and then so right now, I am just like to what? I just like you to pay close attention this, okay? So this is an IM user and my account because I am the root user, okay? Is and my account. So now I'm just log out, okay? So I'm just like to sign out from this. I'm just logging to my, instead of say I am user, this time I'm like to use what? Sign in using root user, okay? Sign in with the root user. So can you see this time? This time, this is my login name, okay? It's different, okay? Are you with me? Okay, so now we back to IM service one more time. And then, so this time, you can see here, I have what? I have 6 users right now because I'm already create one, right? And then, so this user, you can see, create 5 minutes ago, okay? Create 5 minutes ago. And then, so now I am just like to, we just add one more user. Okay, this time we're not using IM user, but we just using what? IM user's credential. Okay, just for programmatic access, which you need to use when you do lab 1. Okay, are you with me?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, can we just click add user one more time? And this time maybe I'm just using user for lab 1. Or have already existed. Lab 1, maybe I'm just using section 001, okay? So we just provide the username. And then, so this time, in terms of credential, yes, can you see here, guys? We are talking about access key, programmatic access. So this one is the essential for us for this course. Okay, enables an access key ID and the secret access key for what? For SDK. Okay, so basically for development tools, okay? So I'm just need to check this. Are you with me? Okay, permission. For this one, again, I'm just like to choose this, attach existing policy directory. And because when we do lab 1, we need to, this user need to have full access to our S3. Okay, because when you do your lab 1, you need to write something or upload something to your S3 bucket, and you also be able to download. So basically need to write and read. And then because there are more than 700, I'm just like to what? I'm not able to, not easy to find, right? I'm just, we can what? Use this filter, okay? I just type in S3. Can you see all this all the policies regarding S3 already listed? I'm just like to, for the, lab 1, you need to choose S3 full access. So read only is not enough. For this AWS Lambda 3 execution rule, okay, so we don't need that one. Okay. So anyway, just use, you just choose S3 full access, and this user is for you to do lab 1. Okay.
What happens if it says, like, when you selected Amazon S3 full access, it says used as none instead of permission policy 3. So, like, would that affect anything? Because it seems like
which one? Maybe it may be a little bit different. Because are you using free tier account or are you using single sign-on? I mean, the one department sent you.
Pretty sure I'm using the one that the department sent me.
Okay.
Like, with my login as my email.
Oh, yes. So in this case, do you mind you share the screen with us? Because I don't know. Because I am not able to log in. So I really have no clue when we create a user there, what kind of things or options you have. Do you mind to share your screen with us?
Yeah, sure thing.
Your name, please.
Oh, Ethan.
Okay, Ethan. So I need to make you as a presenter. So now you can share your screen with us.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I searched up like S3.
Yes, when you type S3, yes, it's the same. Can you see the second one?
This one, right?
Yes.
I'm just wondering because it says like.
You didn't worry about that one, okay?
Okay, all right.
You didn't worry
so
about
next.
this. Yeah. So it's next, yeah, and then so you can just create. Can you create
User?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So can you just stop here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, stop here, guys. Okay. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Just here. Okay. I'm just using your screen. Okay. So can you see here? This one you need to download and store it, save it. Okay. And because when you do your lab one, you need this value. You need access key ID. You need access secret access key. Okay? So download it and save it in a safe time, a safe location, secure location. Does it make sense? Because otherwise, if you are not able, if you just somehow you forget, you need to create one more time. Okay? So that's what I like to that's what I like to. You just download it, okay? You just download it and then so download the CSV file. Okay, download that one and yes, and save. Yeah, when you can you just open it, Ethan?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Just an Excel file.
I don't have an Excel.
You don't. Okay, yeah. So okay, I'm just stop here. Okay.
Okay, there it is. All right.
I'm just a take over, okay?
Okay, I'll stop sharing then.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I guess majority of you have already done this part, right? Have you? And then so I'm just to choose this, just option. I didn't use. Okay, I'm just to create one. Again, as I mentioned, I just download it and save it. Okay, so where after I save it, so you can see here, this is, okay. This is the username. This is a credential. Okay, this is the username, the IM username. Okay, and here is the access key ID, pretty much like what? Like the username and the secret access key. Okay, here is pretty much like what? Pretty much like password. Okay, pretty much like a password. And then so you just I don't save it, and then so you just close it. Okay. So after close it, you can see now I have what? I have 7 users already. I guess a majority of you have 2, right? Majority of you have 2. Okay. So this is what? This is user. Okay. This is the user. We already create 1 user. Okay. And then so yes, you can create many users. Okay. So here is the permissions. So as we mentioned, as we already saw, when we create a user, we need to grant the permission, and then so 3 different ways there. Okay, but later we show you. Yes, we are able to create our own. By default, yeah, this one I need you to pay attention. By default, an IM user cannot access anything unless permissions have been granted explicitly. Okay? Unless you need to grant it explicitly. So permissions specify who has access to AWS resources. By the way, the moment ago, when you just create IM user, we choose what? Full access S3, right? And then, so here it means what? What actions they can perform on these resources. And let's say a moment ago, I create a user for lab 1, section 001 has full access to S3. When we grant permissions, we always need to practice this one. Okay, grant list privilege are required to perform tasks. Okay, so assign permissions to user by creating and attaching identity-based policy. Okay, so now we take a look at the policy. Okay, so again, we mentioned we normally start with what? With managed policies. Do you remember a moment ago? I mentioned AWS has already defined 707 policies. And this policy we call AWS managed policies. Okay? So two special AWS managed policy. The first one is administrator access. And this one is users with this access has the full control. Okay, everything, whatever root user can do. And then so the user with administrator access can do. Another one is with power user access. So with this access of all privileges except ability to manage IAM user. So IAM user we are able to what? Create it. Okay, so now we back. Okay, so we back to our IAM user. Okay, we're back to our IAM user. So this one is what I created a moment ago, right? So I created a moment ago, and then so here is the policy. Okay, so this one is the policy. Let's say if I'm just like to see the policy summary. Can you see here, guys? This policy is actually a JSON document, okay? From here's the first one is a version. The second one is we call the statement. And this statement talking about what? Talking about the action. The action on S3, any action can do. Here is resources. This is, we're talking about what? We're talking about S3. And then, so the effect is allow or deny. Okay. But we mentioned the policy need to explicitly grant it, which means always what? Always allow. Okay. So here. This is what? This is again, as we mentioned, here is a policy. Okay. So the admission, again, as we mentioned, we can, if you like, you can what? You can add permission. Okay. If I just like to add one, let's say add more, and then so we can choose. Okay. So when I just back, we can also create policy, and later when we're talking about the web application, implement a web application to access the data in the cloud, sometimes we may just create our policy. Okay, so but right now we do not do this. Okay. But just to let you know, just to show you, yes, the policy we are able to what? We are able to modify it whenever we need it. Okay. Okay. So here is AWS policy. Okay. As we mentioned, the policy is an object which associates pretty much like what? as a JSON format. Okay. So now here, we mentioned IAM policy is a JSON format document. Okay, JSON format document. So let's say yes, we already like show you this. Okay, pretty much. Okay, so now we're talking about the third concept, which is a group. group is very much the common, very much like the group in our access control. Okay, so you can organize IAM users into IAM groups and attach the policy to a group. All users in this group has the permission that attached to the group. Now, for sure, there's some benefit, right? So here, let's say we are able to, well, because of this, we are able to reduce the complexity to access management as the number of the users grow. And also easy to reassign permissions based on change in responsibility. And in each easy way to update permissions for multiple users and reduce transfer use to accidentally get excessive access. Okay, so very much majority of the time the group, the number of group is really based on what? It's really based on the job title. Okay, so here is main job title. You can see as admin, developers, and a test, and maybe DevOps team, and then so let's say operation team. Yes. So in this case, what? In this case, because each team, they have their responsibility. I mean, different with other teams. So in this case, we create three groups, and then so all the group member, we can, after we create a user for this group member, we can just what? Add this group member to the user, to this particular group, and then so in this case, all the permissions has already granted to this group applied to all the users within this group. Okay, within this group. This is, I think, the concept is pretty straightforward. Okay, so I'm already show you this, and then so let's see. Yes, role. Yeah, we use role quite a lot. What is IAM role? First, it is IAM identity, and that can be created in your AWS account. Again, has the specific permissions. So instead of being uniquely associated with one person or one application, a role is assumable by anyone who needs it. Okay, so the key thing here is a role provides temporary security credentials for the role session. As soon as the job has already done, the role we like to what? We like the role will be removed, and also the credentials associated with role will be revoked. Okay, will be revoked. Role can be used by IAM user in the same AWS account. Can also be what? IAM user can be in different AWS account. Okay. So normally it will be what? As used by web service or external user. Okay. So majority of time in this course, we will not create a role explicitly, but when we deploy application or we containerize it, yes, the system will just create some roles for us. Okay, this is talking about role. And here is terms. Okay, we're already talking about it. I guess this is all things about IAM user. Okay, IAM user. Any questions so far for this IAM service? If people, you have already successfully created IAM user at least one, right? Maybe some of you have already finished it too, right? Okay, good. So now, okay. What kind of question you have, Kenneth? You may just yell it out right now, and then so if in case someone else may have the same or similar concerns. Oh, yeah, you can just, again, when we log in, do you remember there are two options, log in as a root user or log in as IM user, right?
Yeah, so when I try to use the IAM user,
Log in?
yeah, I get redirected to a new page, right, with the user that I just created. So there's three text boxes. One is the sorry.
If you like, you can just share screen with us. Do you mind?
Okay. Sure.
Okay, I give you permission. Okay,
All right. Give me one second. That's one. Yeah. So I have the two users that I just created.
Okay.
Say I wanted to use the user for section 01.
Yes. Can you? Yeah. This is your IM user. Yes.
So therefore. So for the IM username, do you use the same thing?
And this is not okay. This is account ID. Is not the account ID. Can you just back to your user IM user that AWS? Yes, AWS. Yeah. Can you just click on your Kenny's general on the top right? Yes. This is your account ID.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
And then I use this, and then
this is your and if you and also can you just click on the user for section 001?
Yeah.
Click on this. Yes. Click. And then so I remember there's some place just to say let's see. Okay, I remember a moment ago when I created that one. Can you scroll down a little bit?
Oh, this is it.
Okay, yeah, forget about it. I remember they provide us one thing here. Yeah, just use that one. Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Okay.
That's my question.
Yep. So it's okay now, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Excuse me.
That's it.
Okay, we take 5 minutes break and we back. We started to do programming things. Okay, I mean spend a few minutes talking about AS3 concept, and we start to set up the programming environment. Okay. Back at 9:25.
Bye.
We start. Okay, it's good. So now we already have some basic idea about IM user, which is one of the fundamental concepts you need to understand. But I'm pretty sure everyone here after this course, for sure, you will have solid understanding about IM user. Okay. So now we're talking about simple storage service, AWS simple storage service, called S3. Okay, so in terms of storage service, give you some basic idea about fundamentals. Okay, so AWS, broadly speaking, AWS provides 3 different storage types. Block storage, we use that one yesterday when we provision EC2 instances. When we provision a EC2 instance, do you remember we're talking about root volume and normal volume, right? And then so we say we are able to AWS use AWS Elastic Block Store to treat certain types of storage as root volume, or just treat it as normal hard disk. Okay. The second one here is the file storage. Amazon Elastic File Storage. And the third one is simple storage service, which will be our focus for this course. Whenever we're talking about the data storage, we need to know the data features or characteristics of a data you need to handle. So basically, when we're talking about the data features, we need to think about from different perspectives. We call what? We call the data dimensions. First, 3V, velocity, variety, and volume. Velocity is talking about the speed at which the data is being read and write. So for sure, normally it's measured as read per second or write per second. Velocity. Variety determines how structured the data is and how many different structures exist in the data. So let's say nowadays we know, let's say, relational database, NoSQL database, maybe just what? Maybe just like a flat file, let's say Excel document, and all these things. Okay. So really need to think about this as well when how to organize data. Okay. The volume for sure is the size of the data set. So nowadays we already know the data set, the size of the data set, volume of the data set is huge right now, right? Because we're talking about what IoT is just to use to collect the data, right? And for instance, let's say we say click stream. So when people are surfing in the internet, so many data there. Okay, this is first 3V: velocity, variety, and volume. Second, storage, temperature. So when we're talking about temperature, let's say we're always talking about hot and cold or warm, right? Okay. So hot data means what? The data is being worked on actively. So access speed is essential. When we need this data, we're able to access this data basically in real time, okay? The second one is warm data, means what? It's still actively accessed, but not as frequently as the hot data. The cold data still need to be accessed occasionally, but update to this data are rare. In other words, majority of the time we archive the data, right? Frozen data needs to be preserved for business continuity or for archival or regulatory reasons. But basically, it is not being worked on actively. For me, when I look at this, I'm just thinking about what? Tax file, okay? Because every year we need to file tax, right? foreign tax, and then so we are told, okay, so your tax file need to be kept at least for 5 years in case, right? In case you are being chosen to be what? To be observed, like a scrutiny, okay? And also, I mean, for me personally, yes, I even the 10 days ago, so, 10 years, last 10 years, tax filing document, I'm still in my hands. Okay. I'm still keep there. So this one we can, it's just using some sort of real, situation help you to understand the concept. Okay. So the third perspective is a data value. Transient data is often short-lived. The loss of some subset does not have significant impact on the system as a whole. The second one is reproducible data. So this contains a copy of useful information that is often created to improve performance or simplify consumption. For example, data warehouse data, okay? The third one, authoritative data, is the source of truth. Losing this data will have significant business impact because it will be difficult or even impossible to restore or replace it. So these types of data, for sure, you need to really, really pay attention. The last one is critical or regulated data. Is the data that the business retains at any cost, because this is the really, really important data. You have to keep it, okay? Pretty much like, let's say, the organizations filed tax filing information, right? So because this is also regulated data, okay? This is talking about a data dimension. But again, as I mentioned, for this course, we will mainly focus on Amazon's simple storage service. This is a cloud-based object storage service. It can be used to store and retrieve virtually unlimited amounts of data at any time from anywhere. So here is some concepts, okay, about S3. You need to understand it, okay. Number one, bucket. So a bucket is a logic unit in S3, similar with a folder in the file system. It is a container in which object can be stored. Within a bucket can contain folders, but bear in mind, anything you like to store in S3 has to be in a bucket. In other words, before you upload anything to S3, you need to create a bucket first. Okay, so this is first. Second, the bucket name has to be globally unique. I will just explain to you why later. So any number of objects can be stored in each bucket. In other words, literally speaking, there is no limitation for the number of the objects in the bucket. So, but each AWS account can have up to 100 buckets, okay? Up to 100 buckets. So this is a bucket. And another level, a little bit low level, is objects, okay? So objects need to be stored in bucket, okay? So objects are the basic entities stored in S3. Each object consists of the data, metadata, and the globally unique identifier. An object is identified with a unique key with the bucket and version ID if version is enabled. But for this course, I will not, majority of the time, I do not enable the version, but it's okay. You can do it. So keys, what is a key? A key is the name that is assigned to an object. It is a unique identifier for an object within a bucket. More than one object, or if the object in different bucket, they could have the same name, okay? But within the bucket, the key has to be unique. So each object in a bucket has only one key associated. The combination of the bucket key and the version ID uniquely identify object within a bucket, okay? So here is, let's say, back to our AWS account. So now back to, and now we're talking about what? We're talking about another service, which is S3, okay? Which is S3. S3. Oh, I have a bunch of them. Okay, I have already have what? How many? I have already have 14 buckets. Okay, I have already have 14 buckets, and then so we can. I guess right now, many of you you do not have bucket, right? No bucket in your S3, right?
Yeah, no bucket.
No bucket, right?
One?
Yes, create one, please. And then so you can see here is we have create a bucket button, right? Okay, we create one. And then so this time we just we need to specify the bucket name. Bear in mind, can you see here is the bucket name must be unique and must not contain space or uppercase letter. Okay? Uppercase letter. So now, if I just say bucket for section 301 for 21, okay? I'm pretty sure I will get some error. I change that one because I include what? I include capital letter, okay? And then so here we already very familiar with that. Which what? We need to specify the region, okay? We need to specify region. And then so now first I'd like to what? North Virginia, okay? And then so here in the block public access settings for this bucket. And then so by default, can you see? By default has already blocked. So public access, what does it mean? Public access is granted to buckets and objects through access control, the things. And then so in order to ensure that one, and then so the object is blocked. Okay, but for this, I'm just like to uncheck it. It's okay because I'm just like to do I'm just like to demonstrate it. Okay. But because I turned it off, so yes, there's some security issues, potentials there. So that's why I need to check the checkbox. I acknowledge it. Okay. So here is bucket versioning. Bucket versioning, if I just disable it, if I just, let's say I uploaded, there's one object with the name test exists. If I just like to upload another object with the same name, and then so if I enable the versioning, and both of them will be kept there, okay? But use a different version. But I'm just to simplify it to disable it, okay? Encryption. Okay, so for the data for sure, is really need to keep your data to be secure, right? To be secure. So that's why we better when we store the data, we like to the data need to be encrypted during it is stored or rest there or in transit. But I'm just like to disable it first, okay? And in terms of advancing setting and object lock, we just didn't we just simplify it, didn't change anything there. We click create a bucket. Okay, so the bucket has already created. You can see here. This is the bucket I created a moment ago. Here is the region, and then here is access, and here is creation date. Okay, creation date. So after we have a bucket, okay, we just click on this bucket and we just go in, and then so we're able to upload, and then so we also be able to create. We are able to upload. We are able to create a folder within the bucket. And then, so here is in terms of action, you can see, yeah, we are able to download, we are able to copy, move, this kind of things, okay? So right now, so how about, are you with me? By the way, are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, it's good. So right now, how about I'm just upload one, okay? I am just like to upload, add files, okay? And then, so let's say if I'm just choose here, I'm just to use Docker file or, yeah, Docker file. And then, so here is a Docker file. Can you see this? And then, so now, I am just like to click upload, okay? This one has already been uploaded. If I'm just back to the folder, you can see there's one object which is called a Docker file, and modified time is it is a moment ago, right? Here is the size. Here is the storage class. So standard. Okay, so if you see the storage class here is standard. Okay, so now if I am just like to click on this file, and then so now I'm just like you to take a look something. Here is okay. So the object overview. And the object overview, so when you do your lab 1, yes, you need to get the object key ID. Here is a key. Can you see? That's what we call key, right? And basically it's a file name, okay? So here is modified time. Here is the size. Okay, here is the size. So take a look at this. Here is the S3 URI, okay? S3 URI. And especially I like you to pay attention this object URL. Okay, so can you see? This is what? This is the bucket name, right? So that's why a moment ago we say what? The bucket name has to be globally unique. Okay, globally unique, because each of the object, the URL has the same this part, right? It's really based on what? Based on the bucket name, so we are able to uniquely identify it. Okay, uniquely identify it. And then, so here is Amazon resource name, ARM. So this time I like you to pay attention to this part. Okay, ARM. Amazon resource name, ARM. Can you see here? Here is AWS. Which service? We're talking about S3 service. Which bucket is this bucket? And here is the object. Okay? Make sense? Okay, so because let's say when you do your lab, when you do your lab 2, because we were talking about a book, and the book content will be stored in S3, okay? And also lab 3 as well. You will just really need to use this, okay? This is how we are able to I think we need to understand the properties of the object in S3, okay? Because we need to do this. Okay, so after we know that, and then so here is the operations can be performed on S3, can be categorized into 2 categories. First one, operation at bucket level, and the second one, operation on object level, okay? So in terms of bucket level, you should be able to create a bucket, and you should be list a bucket, and we can delete bucket, okay? So these 2, you need to do it, or programmatically do it in your lab 1, okay? And operations on object level, yes, we are able to write an object to bucket, which we have already done, which is upload, right? And we also be able to read an object in the bucket. We also be able to delete an object from the bucket and the list object key in a bucket. We are able to do it, okay? So this is about the concept. Yes, we are able to perform these operations at what? By using AWS Management Console. Can you see this is a list bucket, right? All the buckets existed in my S3 already listed here, okay? Already listed here. So now, for sure, again, as we mentioned, for this course, we not only be able to do this, able to do that from the Amazon Management Console. This is a programming course. So for sure, we need to know how to do it programmatically, okay? How to do it programmatically. So access AWS 3 programmatically, okay? So first, we need to, as we mentioned, we use Visual Studio, okay? So in this case, we need to, in order to be able to work with AWS, we need to install AWS Toolkit, okay? Toolkit. So AWS Toolkit for Visual Studio is an extension for a Microsoft Visual Studio running on Microsoft Windows that makes it easy for developer to debug and deploy all these applications. .NET, okay? So now you can if you just go to the AWS Amazon, okay, so I'm just to show you AWS, here is Visual Studio, okay? Okay, so if you just go to this website, and here is, you can see we have AWS Toolkit for Visual Studio, okay? For Visual Studio, and we downloaded this part, okay? We downloaded this part. I'd like you to do it right now. This is the first way you do it. And the second way, I guess, let me just do this. Another way we can do here is we just go to the extension Because you haven't installed yet, for sure you do not, this option will not be listed for you, but how about you just click manage extensions. If you click manage extensions and you click online, and then so you should be able to see the AWS toolkit. Are you with me? I'd just like you to do it right now. How many of you already open your Visual Studio? Okay, so we do that. Okay, that's good. And so you install this toolkit just a few minutes. Okay, just a few minutes. If you install it, just let me know, okay? Yes, it is. Just choose this one. The first one, okay? The first one. AWS Toolkit for Visual Studio 2017 and 2019. Very simple, you just install it. Hello guys, you finished? Okay, it's good. So now, can we just do one thing? Let's say, we just create one console app, okay? Create a new project. We just using C# here is a console app. I'm just using a .NET Core. Hello, are you with me? Okay, it's good. Okay, good. And then, so this time, can you just like to create a console application, ASP.NET? I'm just click next. And then so next. And this time, for this course, I like you to use .NET 5. I like you to use .NET 5. But if you like, yes, you can also use .NET Core 3.1. But I like you to use .NET 5. I just use the .NET 5. Okay, great. One more thing. I'd like you to do one more thing. Okay, so Abdul, have you already installed your AWS Toolkit? Yes. Okay. So in this case, Abdul, I'm just like you to share your screen so that because I have already installed and then I set up everything. I like you to show you. Use your desktop to explain to the whole class how to set up. Is it okay, Abdul? Oh, you haven't installed extension yet? Okay. You did? Anyway, who has already installed the extension in your Visual Studio? Who has already done it? No. You don't need to demonstrate how to install it. But I haven't done like I like to use your environment to demonstrate how to set up like credentials. Okay, so is it okay or not? I said who like to be volunteer to share your screen so that we do things together because mine has already set up. Okay, thank you, Kenneth. I can just like to make you as a presenter.
Give me one sec, Professor.
Yep, sure.
Hello, Professor.
Yep, I'm waiting.
I don't think I can present because it says here, like I'm trying to. Okay, never mind.
It's okay. It is okay.
Let me share my screen.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I like to see. Okay, so now you can see getting started with AWS Toolkit for Visual Studio, right? First, we need to credential setup. Can you scroll down? Can you scroll down? Yes, please. Yeah, scroll down. Yeah. Okay, can you see here is AWS Toolkit will assume that these credentials are valid for the region US East 1. If you're working with other regions, click that one. Okay, anyway, so can you see? You are asked to what? You are asked to provide access key and secret key. Can you do that? Can you see you under the bottom? There's import from CSV file. Can you click that one? Kenneth, the button, import.
Yeah, actually, I haven't done the may have not skipped that step.
Yeah, because we already create one user. Do you remember?
Yeah, I may have skipped the step where
I think I don't know which one. I guess it's the one the second one. Oh, okay. We can just do it now. Create one user. Let's say you just use mini phone, and how about you just say user for lab 1, because anyway you need to have a user for lab 1, right? Yep. Okay. Good. Go ahead. Yes. Make sure this is a programmatic access. Yep. And can you click attach existing one? Yep. It's good. And then so here is 3. Yeah, so click yes. Review. Yeah, we just click create. Yeah, download. Yeah. So now here you need to be aware where the CSV file. Yes, you just import that one. Okay, here we go. Is that one? I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so it seems import doesn't work, right? Okay, so how about you just do it another way? Open the CSV file. Okay, so copy the key first. Copy. Yep. Copy paste. Yep. And then so secret key, yes. And then can you just change the profile name from default to, let's say, profile for lab 1? It's okay. You just use the profile. Yes, you can just say profile for lab 1, because otherwise you just confuse yourself. Yeah. Okay. And save and close. Yes. Okay, so now you can see on the left-hand side, can you see AWS Explorer is already available for you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It works. Okay, it's good. Everyone, I hope you are able to do it now. So now, how about you just close AWS Getting Start? You close that one. Yeah. And then, so can you just launch, create a project, console application, create new, or create a file. Create on file. Yeah, with new project, okay? Yeah, you just provide,
application?
Yeah, console app, yes. Console app is okay. Yeah. And whatever the name, and yes. Okay, so yeah, location. Yeah, you did use lab 1, because lab 1 you need to use a WPF app. Okay, anyway, so just yeah. Okay, so now I can just can you just stop here? So now I can just use my I share my screen with all of you, so it will save a little bit of time. Anyway, thank you very much, Kenneth. So every people, I guess you know how to set up the working environment now, right?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, so good. So let me just continue. And then, so now, it's just because I already have it, right? Okay. I guess you're able to see my screen now, right? Yeah, well, you can just use a .NET Core. Yes, that's right. Okay. So, here is, first, I am just like to show you on the right-hand side. Here is we called AWS Explorer. Sometimes if this one has already gone, sometimes you can just use here. Can you see on the view? We have AWS Explorer here, okay? And then, so let's say if I'm just click on the S3, can you see here all the list, all the bucket in the bucket in this region has already listed here as well, okay? Make sense? So now we are able to, when you do lab, you can test here, or you can just like to go to your AWS Management Console, okay? So, but in order to be able to implement application to access, let's say, to upload a project, object to your S3 bucket. And then, so first we need to have some, install some NuGet package, okay? So now first, let's say I need to install, package, okay? So this package, AWS SDK dot, I think the first one is S3, okay? Okay, so first we need to have this, okay? So S3, AWS SDK S3, okay? So here is the version, the latest version. I always like to, not necessarily the latest version, but I'm just like to use what? Let's say I'm just using this 3.7.2. This one may be a little bit more stable, and you can see here is a description, okay? Amazon S3 provides developers and IT teams with secure blah, blah, blah. And then, so I'd like you to pay attention to the date, published date, which is just the last week, right? And here's dependency. Okay, so when we install S3, AWS SDK S3, the core has already installed, okay? The core has already installed. So that's why we just install this. Okay? So you can see if we install this package, and then so the core and S3, both of them will be installed, okay? I'm just click OK and install it, okay? So this one has already installed. This is a package, okay? Can I just have your attention, please? So this is a package, okay? So if I'm just expand it. So all the things have already, all the dependencies has already been installed. Okay. So now we really set up the working environment, and then so back to my example. Okay. So very first example is object level. Okay. So first, I'm just using, okay, you don't need to pay attention to the async right now. But first, we need to have Amazon S3 client object. Okay. So that's why we need to instantiate that one. And when we instantiate a S3 client object, we need to provide access key and the secret key and also the region, because when we just say the bucket is in which region, okay? So now if we just say, you may say, Miss, I don't know which region I use, okay, so here is, okay, basically the value, okay, so here is all the, you say East 1, US East 1, US East, like I think here is a bunch of what? A bunch of all the regions available here, okay? You can see they define that as a public, and the static, okay? So we're able to see that. So it really depends on what? I'm using US East 1, but again, I know some of you back home. So make sure you use the region which is physically close to where you are right now, okay? Where you are right now. So in terms of the AWS access key, AWS secret key, you know where you get it, right? You know where you get it. Is that right, guys? You know where you are get, yes, thank you. Yeah. So if not, yeah, make sure you watch this recording in one more time. Okay. So after that, and then so here is S3 a client. You can also take a closer look at the what? At the definition. Okay, so here's a document basically. You can see there's quite a few ways. We already know this is what, because this is a normal class. Okay, so they already provide many different. Okay, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They provide 12 constructors. 12 constructors. Okay, so we just use what? Because we already have what? We already have access key, we already have secret key, we also know which region we like to choose. Okay, so that's why I'm choose this one. It's up to you. It's really up to you, whichever way you like to do. Okay, and then later I may just show you another way to do it. Okay, use the AWS credential. Okay, anyway, so this is for the Amazon S3 client. We need to instantiate an object of S3 client. Okay, and then so we use invoker method. Take a look. This is we use what? Asynchronous programming. Okay, so in programming 3, you have already done one lab to practice asynchronous programming skills, right? We already know there are 3 classic usage scenario for asynchronous programming. The one is what? One is really the operation over what? Through internet. This is the one. Okay, this is one. And also another one, what? Yes, we just do I/O, right? And then so for sure, this case, when you do your lab 1, make sure you use what? Make sure you use asynchronous programming. Okay. And then so we just upload, okay? We just upload. And then so when we upload, we use transfer utility, okay? This class. And then again, you can just take a look. Okay, so the functionalities they provide, okay? They're able to, they provide what we can do. You can see we can upload many things. We can upload a directory. We can upload string, okay? So again, as I said, I just like to remind you And all the examples I provided for you is already enough for you to do lab. And you don't need to try to Google from the internet. Okay, not many, it's not easy to find some really helpful information there. I spend lots of time to grab all these things together. Okay, so all the examples I provide you is already far more enough for you to do lab. Okay? And then so you can see very specific, we just what? Yeah, we just invoke upload async. We provide a bucket name and we provide a file name. Okay. So straight away upload there. Okay. I provide three. Yeah, there are so many different, options you can do. You can do the same thing. I'm just provide you all the others you can see. I provide 4 options here. And then, but I'm just like to, all the others, I just commented out, but you can, all of them works. Okay. So, but you can just choose whichever way you like. Okay. So this is we just upload. Okay. Just upload. And then, so here is, you can see the bucket name. I'm just hard-coded, which is not good. And the file name, which is also the file name, which located on my laptop. Okay, on my laptop. So here is the region. Okay. This is very straightforward. But for sure, if we just like to provide the credentials in your code, somehow it's not a good idea, right? It's not a good idea because it's very easily to be disclosed to someone else, okay, to someone else. So that's why we do what in this case we use another way. Okay. So we just like to store your AWS credentials, which is your secret ID and ID in app configure file. Okay. So in app configure file, and then so you can just add app config file. Can you see here? If I'm just put here, I'm able to add one app config file, add a new item, and app configure file. Okay, so we just add this, add one, and then so we add this here, and then so for sure what we need to do here, you can see we need to add this information to this app configure. Okay, so now let me just show you app. This is app setting, but I'm just to show you app configure file. Okay, so just to put this, let's say. Okay, so here we add a key pair. Okay, so within the app setting, we add a key, which is access ID. We add another one, secret key. Secret key. You already know where we get this one, right? Okay, Candice has already shown us. Okay, and then so, but in order to be able to use this, so we need to add one more package there. Okay, we need to add one more package there, which is a system configuration manager. Okay, so we just like to add Mac package. Okay, and try to, I think it's a system. Let's see, system. Yes, here we go. We need to have this package, system configuration manager. Okay, so this one you can see we just provide types that support using configuration file. Okay, configuration file. And then so you can see the data published is just I think last week, right? What is today? Oh, yesterday, which is yesterday. But this is not as a good one because this is a pretty list. We just choose the one stable one, okay? We choose a stable one, okay? I'm just choose the one. Choose the stable one, okay? Latest stable one, the version 5, that released in November 9, 2020, okay? 2020. I install this. I hope it works. Okay? So after you install this, and then so now we take a look. Okay, so in this case, we need to, you can see what we do here. We need to use a configuration manager to get what? To get your access ID and the secret key, okay? And the secret key. And for others, pretty much the same, okay? For the others, I do not change anything. So this is the second way, okay? The second way we're talking about what? We're talking about credentials, okay? The third way here, we can what? We can add a JSON file to the project to store sensitive information. For instance, again, we use what? Sorry. Again, we use credential as example. Okay, so this time we just store add one JSON for app settings, and then so this time we need to install these two packages. Okay, a NuKit package, and then so after that, for sure you can see. For me, I'm already create one class. And then so which I called helper, and then so in this case I'm able to reuse this class. Okay, I'm able to reuse this class, and then so here is, let me see, yes, here we go. Okay, so here is app setting JSON. Just to use what? Yeah, this is a JSON file. Okay. So AWS credentials, access key and the secret access key. Okay. I provide one class which is called helper, and then so in this case, I'm just have one object of Amazon S3 client. I get all this information there, and then so when I just instantiate an AWS Amazon S3 client, I use what? Another constructor, because this time I'm just using credentials. Okay, credentials, and the region is use the same region. Okay. And in terms of the operations, and then so I'm just to show you where, I'm just a get bucket list. Okay, get bucket list. And then so if you just see let me just show you, here is S3. Okay, if we just go to the definition, okay. So here is an Amazon S3 client. Again, as I mentioned, we use what? Okay, so this time I'm using credentials. Okay, so I'm using this constructor. Moment ago, we use, okay, so this time I'm using this constructor. A moment ago we used this constructor. Okay, only to show you two ways to instantiate Amazon S3 client, and then so if you just go take a look, all the method they provide is already here. Okay, so let's say can you see here is list bucket? Okay, so here is the list bucket. And then I'm just list bucket also they provide what? Two overloading method. And then so we just use this one. Okay, so because we define list bucket request. Okay, so anyway, so in this case you can see yes we are able to get the bucket. Okay, bucket list. So basically, this is all things you need to do lab 1. We already covered. Okay, we already covered. So you should be able to start to do your lab 1. Okay, you start to do your lab 1. Any question? Any question? Guys, are you with me?
Professor.
Yes.
When is it due again? Is it next Friday?
The due time is next Friday.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. What do you mean lengthy here? I mean, you mean like too much information? Yeah, that's true, very detailed because I try my best to be very detailed, and then so what I'm trying to say here is 2 times. So come to see me at Teams